Kiddie, a small mountain resort community in Northern California, is known for its tranquility, a refuge for those seeking escape from the hustle of life. In 1981, Glenna Sharp, affectionately called Sue, settled into Cabin 28 with her 4 children, navigating through challenging times and adjusting to their new environment. On the night of April 11, 1981, Sue welcomed her friend Dana Wingate, a 17-year-old girl, into their home for a visit. With 2 of Sue's children, Sheila and John, also present, the cabin was alive with the energy of youth. Meanwhile, the younger siblings, Rick and Tina, were sound asleep in the back room. Next door, 3 more of Sue's children were having a sleepover with a friend, adding to the ease of the evening. As the morning broke, Sheila, having stayed at the neighboring cabin, returned home, but what she discovered inside Cabin 28 would haunt her and the entire community forever. The scene was horrific. Sue, John, and Dana had been brutally murdered. They were bound with tape and electrical cords, their lives taken with a hammer and a knife in an act of unimaginable violence. The raw brutality of the crime was shocking, far exceeding any reasonable cause. Striking terror, the 2 youngest children were missing from their bedroom. Rick, miraculously alive, was found hiding under a bed, trembling in fear. But Tina, only 12 years old, was nowhere to be found. She had vanished from the cabin amid the chaos and bloodshed. It was a chilling reality. A child had disappeared in the darkness of night during a grotesque murder scene. 3 years later, in 1984, a partial skull was discovered in a nearby county, later identified as belonging to Tina. In the following years, more bone fragments were unearthed in the same area, revealing a grim truth. Tina had been taken from Cabin 28, murdered, and her remains scattered in the woods. The surviving children, those who had slept next door, remembered strange sounds from that devastating night. Initially, they couldn't comprehend the noises, but as they grew older, the terrifying realization of what they had witnessed settled in, and they have carried that burden ever since. The investigation into the murders began almost immediately, with suspects emerging early on. 2 local men, known for their violent pasts and familiarity with the family, came under scrutiny as they had been seen at the cabin complex that fateful night. One suspect passed away before he could be charged, while the other has consistently denied any involvement in the crime. However, significant flaws marred the initial investigation. The crime scene was compromised, with evidence mishandled or lost entirely. Cabin 28 eventually fell victim to demolition, erasing vital forensic opportunities that could have offered clarity and justice. In 2016, authorities in Plumas County reignited the investigation, suggesting they believed they knew who was responsible for the heinous acts that took place over 4 decades ago. Yet, despite their assertions, no charges have been filed against any suspects, leaving the heart-wrenching case unresolved. Today, more than 40 years after the brutal murders, justice remains elusive. No one has been convicted for the deaths of Sue Sharp, her son John, or Dana Wingate, and the fate of Tina Sharp remains shrouded in mystery. The children who survived that fateful night are now adults, bearing the weight of their knowledge, haunted by the sounds they heard and the justice that never came. The remains of Cabin 28 have long been reduced to rubble, its foundations still visible, a reminder of the tragedy that took place. The case remains open, unresolved, echoing a painful silence through the years. The chilling words linger. The children in the next room heard everything. 3 years after the murders, Tina was found, in pieces. After 40 years, there have been no convictions. The investigators believe they know who did it, but the unsettling question remains: why has nobody been charged?